Pechstein with Move Into Action, and welcome to your monthly Think, Drink, Coaching, and Training segment. I am so glad that you are with us again this month. We have a really exciting topic that we've been working on, and we're going to go ahead and continue on with that about the status quo has got to go. How many times have we just felt that we were barely getting along, but it was just going to have to be, and we were going to have to just settle for what it was because that's what was expected? That's not always true, and we do have a different way for you to look at it. This week is really exciting because this one here is all about being the 0%. Now, lately in the news and in the media, and just in things that you hear, you read the paper, you do research, you look online, I mean, anywhere you're going, if you take a course, just listening to experts, there are times when you'll hear about the 99%. You're going to hear statistics about single mothers who have children, and they have this percent chance for success with their children entering college. This group over here might be labeled with only a 25% success rate. This one here, because of their life circumstances, may only have a 10% chance or a shot at something. And so if we get caught up on those statistics, pretty soon we find experts, we find people, outside voices, we find even just expectations placed upon us because of what is going on in the world and in our lives and what we're being labeled as, and it tells us what we're capable of. My question to you as a coach, is that really what you're capable of? Are you capable of achieving something outside of that standard or that set of statistics? I just gave a sermon the other day and was talking to a group about statistics, that it has been proven that expectations placed upon a group have a significant impact, especially with students. If you tell a group of students that they're going to do great, you expect them to do well, 9 times out of 10, they do well. If you take students with the same capabilities and you walk in and say, you're going to have a very hard time passing this class, I don't see you doing well, I think you're going to have a really difficult time, guess what? It does come to pass. Expectations can set the standards. They can set us up to only be able to achieve the status quo, what somebody else has said is possible, regardless of what I might say is possible, or you might say is possible, or somebody else who does not want to be classified into that, to be limited as to what opportunities they really have access to and can succeed in. So we have to start training ourselves and thinking that we can defy the odds. We can stand outside of those statistics. We can really work, we can choose, we can do what we think we can, and we can grasp those opportunities. It is possible for us to create something for nothing. How many times have you ever heard somebody say, I can't do that because I don't have X, Y, and Z. If I only had those, I'd be able to do it. A lot of times it's just because we have opportunities. Now, they may not be what we want or what we expect that we'd be able to work with, but we do have things that we can grasp. And I know that there are people out there who have made something from nothing. Today, with internet access, with technology, there are a lot of things that we can do. We can start somewhere without having a whole list of things that we think we need. We can start somewhere using the 1 or 2 things that we do have access to. Make that our opportunity to create what we can with it. Outside, defy those odds, and then look at what you've got. Another thing is that we get to focus on our goal and the finish line. We have to do that without looking at the statistics. There's only a 10% chance of me ever passing this course. Has anybody ever heard that? Now, I know that if we focus on that, that's likely going to be the limitation. We start to experience it. So we have to focus on the things that we can defy, the things that we can work to defeat, those barriers that we can work and use every opportunity we have to get beyond. Not look at that as the final point. I can't get past this, but no, this is a beginning point, and I can start today, and I can start and spend every step I take to move beyond this point. So don't see the barriers as a stopping point. See those as your starting point. Yes, I'm standing here, I'm looking at my barrier, but I'm going to get past this. Make your barrier your starting point. Don't focus on the things that scare you or confuse you or cause you to focus on fear. When you focus on that fear, you're staring at the stopping point. Don't focus on that. Look beyond it. Look beyond the status quo. Look beyond what people say is possible for your set of circumstances. Focus on what you see in your life. When you want to go, look at what your priorities are. Make it your vision. Why do you want to achieve this? What is it going to mean when you get around this barrier? Can you do more than what's expected? Can you do better than the status quo? Yes, most people will see this obstacle and they'll stop. But do I see this obstacle? Do I want to stop, or do I want to move beyond it? Let it be your vision. Let it be your set of priorities that you're focused on. Let it be your motivation that carries you through, not what other people expect. Don't focus on the status quo. Now, here's some examples. I know I went to a poverty training, and it was all about individuals living at the poverty level. And as a single mom with 3 kids, when I was in this training, I left almost in tears because I thought, oh my gosh, they're telling me that because I'm a single mom, my kids may never graduate from high school. There's a good chance they'll never go to college. They may end up pregnant. They may end up on all these different, scenarios. They're going to, fall into drugs. They're going to do all this stuff. I left a basket case. I thought, why did I ever go to that training? Here I am, a leader in this community, a single parent. I do have obstacles like everybody else. We all have obstacles that sometimes sit in our ways. I could have focused on that and been the status quo. But instead I thought, what do my children need to get beyond this? If this is our starting point, the obstacle is our starting point, what do we need to get past that? I'm going to make sure I give them that so that they don't focus on the status quo. They can move beyond that. And you know what? I cannot pass this. There's no hard. I'm not smart enough to do this. Why? Because I just wasn't a strong student when I was in school. And so I was looking back at the fear that I faced from past experiences. So I saw this obstacle in front of me and I thought, I don't know if I can do it. But you know what? Focus on what's beyond it. Am I going to stop at the status quo? Am I going to quit where everybody else would quit? Am I going to stop at this point? Or am I going to look at this obstacle as my starting point and I'm going to start defeating it as of today? I'm going to use every opportunity that comes my way. I'm going to move beyond it. You can do it. Now, about that class, I did pass it, but it was because I couldn't look at the obstacle as the end. I had to look at the obstacle at the beginning of the journey that was going to occur after that. It took dedication. It took perseverance. It took an ability to wake up every day and say, I'm scared to death, but I'm going to do this anyways. I see the obstacle in front of me, but you know what? By tonight, a piece of it's going to be behind me. It took that kind of a mindset. And with that kind of a mindset, you can get beyond those barriers. Whether you're a single parent, whether you didn't do well in school, whether you struggled with something, whether you've just had a lot of life experiences, maybe you weren't even responsible for, just things that have happened that have shown up in your life, and you can work to get beyond those. So those statistics are not always true. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, a lot of things that are reported, but don't focus on them. You need to get around those. You have to believe in yourself, even if it's just a small goal every day. You don't have to conquer the mountain the first step you take. You're going to conquer the first step when you take the first step. You're going to conquer the second step when you take the second step, the third, the fourth, the fifth. You're going to get above this peak, and then you're going to reach the next peak. But you're not going to conquer the whole thing the very first time you ever move to take a step. So you have to remember that. Celebrate the small steps. Defy the odds. And you know what? Show your kids, show your family, show this generation that they can do the same. Let them watch you do it. If you want to raise kids that know how to go beyond the status quo, to get beyond what's expected, to do a little bit more than anybody ever thought that they could, even to live a life in a better way, leave things better than you found it, be above the status quo. Be a good example then, because you know what? They're not going to hear what you say, they're going to watch and see what you do. Don't conform to society's expectations. I guess that's the thought that I want to leave you with during this Think Drink. Don't conform to what society's expectations of you or your family or your priorities or your values. Don't conform to what their standards are. Use what you have. Grasp every single opportunity. Create something from nothing. Have you ever taken something from nothing? Create something from nothing. Use what you've got. Use your skills. Use your talents. Use your resources. Don't wait for the big opportunity because they're rare. The big breakthrough is rare. You know what a big breakthrough is? It's a bunch of small steps that finally pay off over years of determination, over years of hard work. And everybody thinks it was that big breakthrough that finally did it. No, it was the dedication to the small things that finally got them to the point where they had a breakthrough. Success comes from those small opportunities that happen every day. The big breaks are rare. The small opportunities that you can use, you will learn from those and you will build off of every single one of them. And eventually you will arrive at your big breakthrough. Most people don't take the small opportunities because they're looking for the one big thing. And it's not going to happen. There are a million of small things that come together to create the big thing. So don't forget, use your small things. And that's how you will learn to succeed, because you're going to move towards something. You're going to have the drive, the dedication, the determination, and you're going to gain those skills as you go through this process. So even right now you might be going, there is a 0% chance that I could do this. Don't focus on the statistic. Don't look at what somebody else has said you can or can't do. Look at your priorities. Look at where you want your life to go. Look at what's important to you. Look at your set of values, your standards, and then determine your direction. Don't focus on the obstacle as your finish line. Look at it as your starting point. You're going to get beyond it. And don't live by the status quo. You can do much more than that, and you know you can, and I know you can. Always remember that you don't have to be part of any percent. You can stand and you can make it, and you can live beyond the status quo. Be sure to answer the questions from this month's Think Drink, and if you have any questions, please join us online. Interact, send us your comments, send us your breakthrough moments, your stories, any questions that you have. We would be happy to discuss them. We hope that you'll participate with your group and discuss this in depth and share and learn from one another, and of course, see how you've defied the odds and stood out from what the status quo was. Thanks, and we will see you next month. You guys have a great next month.